5 language patterns that will definitely boost your social intelligence whenever you want to meet people, make friends, or even develop better relationships at work. Those tactics will definitely help you with that. Over the last years, I think I met many people who claimed or who thought they were introverts. And because of that, they could not make friends, they could not socialize, they could not approach people. None of that was possible. What I think I found out after talking to many of those people was that they are not really introverts, they are just worrying of what people think of them, which might come down as the same thing in the end. But they are just over-intellectualizing what might people think of them if they say that, if they say this, and therefore they don't say anything, or they say things but they try to control literally everything, the perception people have of them, and that massive control is exhausting. So at least when you have a few topics of conversation that have been approved, because you know when you talk about this, people do like you, do exchange with you in a nice way, and you know you can make friends more easily, having a few of those bullets in your back pocket can definitely help to grow your self-esteem whenever you interact with people, and at some point you don't even care anymore of what they think of you because you know you are worthy even without their approval. The first one is coming from a concept in NLP known as value elicitation. It is about clarifying what people want to accomplish or love the most in life. The way I have definitely applied that in my social life was by whenever somebody was talking about something they enjoy doing, something they like, or something they have some interest toward, I would ask, could you tell me what is the most interesting or the most important thing to you about X? Not about the platform of Elon Musk, but about X being like a blank in the phrase, about the thing they enumerated. If they say they love soccer, or they love basketball, or they love writing, or they love reading novels, whatever they mention, just asking them instead of staying on the basic surface level, oh yeah, that's cool. And what else? No, when people provide you something about them, dig deeper. That is how you form meaningful relationships, by showing interest in their inner world up to the point where they want to reciprocate and show interest in your inner world. So the question is, what is the most important to you about novels? What is it that you like, enjoy the most about horsing, about basketball, about whatever? And how did you come there? How did you come here? What made you enjoy that to that extent? Or for example, if you had 3 things you had to mention about why do you enjoy basketball so much, what would those be? And when you start asking questions like that, people are going to open up to be much more ecstatic, like enthusiastic about what they talk about. And when they associate those feelings with your face, with yourself, they will remember you as somebody they want to talk to again. Number 2 is on the more difficult side, when you have some confrontation or you have a discussion that is not going that well because you have maybe a different point of view compared to the person you are interacting with, but you don't want to lose rapport either because it is still supposed to be a nice environment, for example. And or like, let's say for example, you are interested in the female friend of a guy you talk to, and the guy is a complete asshole, but you have to maintain his approval if you want to get to the girl. Talking from experience, sometimes, many times actually, something I could say quite often is, I know I could be wrong about this, whatever is the topic of disagreement. I know I could be wrong about that, and I would just like to clarify that my perspective is actually based on, and then I would enumerate no matter what made me go to the conclusion that I believe in this or that. I just want to clarify how my judgment was made and explaining that maybe I'm wrong, but maybe I have some interesting thoughts. So the structure of this phrase is very important. I know I could be wrong, so you are pacing the disagreement, you're pacing the potentially negative emotional effect of the person who realizes you don't disagree with them and they don't like that because they want to be right, they want to show that they're right, whatever. You just show them that you are respecting the fact that there is a disagreement and you acknowledge that maybe some things you say could not be absolutely right, and the word and is a replacement for the word but, which but would be negating what you said just before that, whereas saying and is validating the pacing you made just before with I know I could be wrong. So the mind of the person is more inclined to listen to what you're going to say next. And the next thing I say is my perspective is actually based on because I saw my dad struggling with this, so now I believe in this political movement according to what I have seen my dad going through, for example. Or if it is something about an author that I like more than another one, whereas the person I talk to love the author I don't like, I will just say my opinion on that author is negative, I admit, and my opinion is negative because this, and that are things I did not like. And in the end, I may even change my mind. Maybe the person will just show me that actually what I believed was based on something not true at all, which might happen. So it will, in any case, create an exchange, provide an opportunity to learn from each other instead of staying at the 3 years old mental level of, no, I'm right, you're wrong, which is how most people communicate in life. Thank you to get out of my life if you are part of them. Number 3, that being said, is going more details about what they like. So when you know about the basic NLP methodologies and models, you remember probably this idea of chunking up and chunking down. Chunking up, you go more general, things like the first language pattern here, what is it that you enjoy the most about X or Y? So what is something superior, something more emotional, wider perspective you have on the topic, and chunking down is more specifically, in more specific details. So novels, you enjoy novels. What is it that you enjoy the most about novels? Oh, it makes me feel dreamy, it stimulates my child mind. Okay, those are higher values. And then down there, okay, do you have an example of one specific novel that really triggered that sense in your mind? Or do you have an example of a specific author that whenever you read that author, you find yourself in a state so enjoyable that you just want to keep reading non-stop? And going that way, you will help people associate more specifically to the feelings they have whenever they are into this experience that they enjoy so much. So it can be about novels, it can be about sports or basketball if they love that. So could you tell me about one specific game where you won or you lost, whatever, but a specific game you have been experiencing where you had the most incredible experience? What happened? Who were you with? You don't ask that clearly, obviously, but you just put that into a normal conversation. So, oh, really, the game of 2 weeks ago? Why this one? What happened? Oh, you won the game. Like, who did you play against? And slowly you get more details into more specifically what happened that made them experience whatever positive feeling. Again, once they experience a lot of positive feelings in your presence, they will associate you with those feelings and remember you as somebody they want to meet again or somebody they sense they can trust. And you can go more details about something they like, but also about their job. So many people don't like their jobs, but at least if they like their job a little bit, or if there is a specific best friend they have who is present at the gathering or whatever, or somebody they really like spending time with, which can be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever, somebody they really like spending time with. So, okay, so specifically, what is it that makes you like this person that much? Is it about things they do, things they say? What is it about this person that makes you like them so much? Number 4 is, what is your outcome in saying this? I like to use this one as a slight pattern interrupt. I don't use it that often, but whenever I meet somebody who is extremely negative, pessimistic, like putting on a negative vibe in the group or whatever, at every possible moment, like that person is always negative, no matter what the topic is, no matter what is happening, that person is always bringing up the worst topic of conversation ever, the worst vibe ever. Even if everybody is having a good time, they will find any possible way of injecting some negative vibe, like they don't like this, or like, oh, those people, they burn the planet, whatever they say. And you just say, what I like to say, for example, is, what is your purpose in saying that? Just because one time specifically, I think it was 3 years ago, there was a girl in a group who was always complaining about everything. Like you could say anything you want, you would be complaining with her. And unlucky, I was unlucky at this moment, I found myself walking in the street alone with her. And I had to listen to all her complaining again and again and again. So at some point, I literally stopped. Physically, I stopped walking. I turned to her and I said, "What is your purpose in saying that?" And she had like a blank, like, "What?" And I said, "Well, you just keep complaining. So are you saying that basically in the world, nothing is good and that you just want to dig a hole in the ground and bury yourself and die? That's what you're telling me?" And she had a slight laugh. "Oh, no, it's not like that." But I was like, yeah, at some point just stop fucking complaining. And I was so exhausted at some point of those people that I just felt a need to put an end to it. And at least it brings up some more refreshing conversation. If they are complaining because they are in a really bad mood, because something bad happened, I understand, but at least now I know what's going on, and we can discuss about that eventually if they want to get some guidance or some advice, why not? But at least we are going somewhere and we are exchanging in some, according to my terms, meaningful way. Somebody just negative complaining, I just want that person out of my life, or at least explain to me what's happening. And if it is just a recurring pattern of every day, at some point equals toxic person out of your life, thank you, goodbye. And the last one, number 5, is how did you end up where you are in life? You may ask that about their job, about some situation they found themselves into. Obviously not if they talk about being in a really negative place in life. Right now, if they say they hate their job, maybe don't go there unless it is a therapy session. But if it is a social environment, maybe don't go there. But just if they talk about anything that is at least mildly positive, just clarifying what has been your life story so far. People connect through their background, through the shared experiences they have together. So if you can enumerate some things that brought people where they are in life, and as they talk about it, they associate to all their life, part of their life story again, once again, they will associate that with you too, and they will, in the back of their mind, at least a little bit, will associate their life story with being in your presence, which again will build more trust, more connection, if there are some legitimate commonalities on top of that, obviously. It's not about trying to force something, it is about amplifying connections when you have a legitimate interest in each other, friendly, romantic, whatever it is, just something where you sense the person might be somebody you would like to exchange with again. Asking them to clarify what brought them to where they are in life, either in their career, in their social situation, in their relationship, whatever it is. Clarifying that will help to form a more meaningful interaction and will eventually make them reciprocate and ask you, how are you? How did you end up here? And it is the moment where it is interesting to work on your life story also. Don't lie about anything, but you can hide some facts if they are kind of really negative about yourself. You may tell that later when you have a trusted friend, not in the beginning obviously, and you may just talk about your own life story, what brought you where you are today, what choices did you make and why did you make those choices, but always starting by getting the information out of the head of the person you are interacting with. It makes them feel more valued for their life, for their opinions, for their character, for their personality, for their story. It makes them feel more valuable in your presence, and the more good feelings you spread around you, the more people want to be part of your world. Recently, I watched a video from a lady who was explaining it was really tough for her and for the people in her community to make friends in the adult life, and one of the things that she was mentioning was that many times a friend leaving you was experienced as a breakup, and it was really tough to experience. What was interesting about that, when I thought about my life related with this, was that I don't think I ever had a situation where a friend wanted to leave me. I had several times people I wanted to distance myself from, either because they were literally toxic or just because I was sensing we were not really having the same interest in life anymore, which was fine, but it was just we were going into different directions. But I don't even remember one single time when somebody, a friend, I had that happening with a girlfriend breaking up with me, that happened, but a friend That literally never happened. I was always the one leaving them eventually, but I never had somebody trying to leave me or telling me, Matteo, I don't want any more anything to do with you. I never had that. And I'm guessing that part of that is the emphasis I have been putting for the last 10 years on developing meaningful ways of communicating. And whenever I communicate with somebody, I show legitimate interest in them and I want to explore their world in a legitimate way, not trying to fake a character or to fake a bond when there is none, but legitimately showing interest in them, in their story, in their personality. Why did they make that choice or this choice, and who are the closest people to them, and why is it so? And by communicating in that manner, which I do with everyone, not just when I want to get a girl in my bed, but literally I do that with everyone. And as a response, people just want to reciprocate. And whenever I have a service to ask to somebody, they want to give it to me, to help me getting it, because I have been making them feel special from the beginning without any hidden agenda, just because I like to spread good feelings. When you start from this presupposition, many good things will happen to you in life compared to somebody who would just stay lonely and, as an introvert, whereas you can change that. And I just think it is more interesting in life to gather a community around you than just staying alone in front of the TV all day long. If I can help a few people getting out of that, I would be glad to succeed in this. If you want to learn some more tips and tricks about language, about persuasion, about how to alter your own states, you can check the documents in the description. You have two, one about the fundamentals of NLP and one about sleight of mouth and how to use language patterns to influence others with some interesting words and manners.